introducing the starting lineup for the Lutheran West Longhorns. The 6-foot senior guard, number 0, Jason Levis. At 6'2", junior guard, number 1, Derek Fairley. At 6'3", junior guard, number 3, Peter Kambaba. At 6'6", sophomore forward, number 5, Matt Meyer. And at 6'3", senior forward, number 24, Clay Noble. Longhorns is coached by Jordan Duke. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Flip Saunders Gymnasium. And now, here's the starting five for your Cuyahoga Heights Red Wolves.
Good evening and welcome to Flip Saunders Gymnasium on the campus of Cuyahoga Heights High School as we are getting set for a vaunted CVC Metro boys basketball matchup between the Cuyahoga Heights Red Wolves and the Lutheran West Longhorns. Thanks so much for joining us here on CVC TV. And before we get things rolling here, I'd just like to let you know that the presenting sponsor of CVC TV is Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery, Drs. Keith Schneider, Don Lewis, Jill Weber, and Jacqueline Tomzik. Their specialties include dental surgeries and implants, corrective jaw and facial surgery, and trauma reconstruction. For all of your oral surgery needs, visit the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery website at www.ohsurgery.com. Thank you for your support of the Chagrin Valley Conference and CVC TV. Thanks so much for tuning in this evening. I'm Logan Petoskey alongside my broadcast partner, Brandon Marvel. Brandon, it's a pleasure to have you aboard, and should be in for a good boys basketball game here in Northeast Ohio tonight.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. It's going to be a great game. We got two great teams here, Cuyahoga Heights versus Lutheran West. Lutheran West was able to take the first matchup of the year. And who you really want to look out for with Lutheran West is Derek Fairley, their point guard, number 1. Now, he's not the best scorer on the team, but the way he facilitates the offense, averaging just under 9 assists a game, he's super quick with the ball. He's got the ball on a string. And look out for him on the defensive end, too. He's a pest on the ball, and he's not afraid to get in the post with the bigs and make a big defensive stand.
So Longhorns will start with the ball. Here's Fairley. Going to attack the lane, kicks to Jason Levis, one of the premier scorers here in the Northeast Ohio area, averaging over 18 points per game through his first 20. Also had 18 points in a 48-47 loss last night against Archbishop Hoban. Inside, going to the rim, but a travel called on the sophomore forward, Matthew Mayer. It will go to Cuyahoga Heights.
Yeah, and Jason Levis, they've had great wins this season, Lutheran West, and against Menor, at Menor, he was able to put up a 35-point, 11-rebound performance against Menor. Just an absolutely great show he put on for us.
And the Red Wolves now their first offensive possession tonight, starting Braylon McClarty, Kane Davies, Eli Walton, Nate Biggers, and Caleb Graff. With it for the Red Wolves is Walton, the senior. Looks to find somebody open, now inside Graff, attacks the basket, can't put it in though, and it's hauled in by Mayer. On the outside, Levis wanted a 3 for the time being. Runs into some traffic inside, gets it back. Levis for 3. That's off the mark. Inside, Meyer attacks the rim, counted and a foul. And Matthew Meyer with a chance for the 3-point play.
That was a great way for Derek Fairley, like I mentioned before, to kind of just get the possession to continue off the rebound there. They kicked it right back out to him. He found Jason Levis open in the corner. Wasn't able to knock it down, but Matt Meyer able to clean it up on the glass and get the and one.
Meyer, the sophomore, 6'6", 215 pounds. Can't convert the free throw, though. Rebounded inside by Clay Noble. And able to keep possession alive as it's last off Cuyahoga Heights. And Noble, a 6'3", 218 senior, also the starting quarterback on a very good Lutheran West football team this past season.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've been doing great things over there at Lutheran West, building up their football program and their basketball program over the last few years. And Noble, he got good offers from some schools. He did commit to Concordia Ann Arbor in Michigan, as you see a foul called there on the ground.
That was inside to the junior guard, Junior Kambamba. So he'll have a trip to the line for 2. And Lutheran West 18-3 Heading into tonight's contest, they just fell to Archbishop Hoban 48-47 on the road last night. And Cuyahoga Heights 19-2 on the season, defeated Chagrin Falls on the road 50-37 last night. And that first one no good from Kambamba, and the Longhorns now 0 for 2 from the line to start.
Yeah, free throws are always a thing. They're called free, but it always seems like sometimes there's the most pressure because you're by yourself, everybody else is around you, but it's not points you want to leave at the line, as in a close game like this could be big points.
And the first three missed. Meyer the rebound inside. Backs down on McClarty. Fairley has it. No look inside. Meyer wants it again. Nice touch, but couldn't put it in. And Braylon McClarty with the rebound. Just over 90 seconds into this first quarter. Just 2-0, but it's Lutheran West in front to start. McClarty, watched by Meyer, got a screen, pulls up for two. That's missed from the elbow and hauled in the air by Kambamba. Inside Meyer, he's been busy already, blocked from behind. But the Longhorns stay with it. Meyer again goes for the baby hook. That's no good, and rebounded by Biggers.
The Red Wolves, even though they're struggling to pull down a defensive rebound, they're not letting them get those second chance points. They're standing tall in the paint, not letting them get easy twos.
Ball works its way around to Biggers, the senior. Wide open three. Late contest, no good from Cade Davies. Still no score yet from the Red Wolves. Levis attacks. Now Fairley takes some contact, and he is able to draw the foul.
Red Wolves getting in some early foul trouble here. Picked up already their third foul with just over 2.5 gone in the first quarter, as we see Joshua Meyer coming in for the Longhorns in place of his brother Matt. See what he can bring to the table for the Longhorns.
Talk about the family connections. Braylon McClarty and Maurice McClarty on the floor for Cuyahoga Heights. And now you have both Meyer brothers on Lutheran West getting some action in this game so far. Here's Fairley. Through his first 20 games of the season, not counting last night, averaging over 8 assists per game. Had 9 assists last night against Hoban. He gets it in the corner. Tough defense from McClarty. Remember, no shot clock in high school. Levis almost lost it into the Cuyahoga Heights bench. Now Kambamba inside to Meyer. Goes up, and he draws a foul. A couple of Red Wolves there with that contest. And some more free throws coming for the Longhorns.
It looks like Lutheran West really wanted to hone in on feeding the ball in the paint this game. A lot of post touches already today for Matt and Josh Meyer, as we see Josh going to the line here for two.
Meyer, also a sophomore. It's like his brother, also 6'6", listed at 208 pounds, and able to make that first free throw. So free throw drought goes away for Lutheran West. They now lead 3-0 over Cuyahoga Heights.
Got to get those early game butterflies out of the way at the line. Good to see that first one fall for Lutheran West. Maybe they can build off that at the line.
And the Cuyahoga Heights student section trying to not make it easy, but Meyer converts. And it's now a 4-point ball game. Almost halfway through this first quarter, Cuyahoga Heights yet to score against the Lutheran West team. That has been very tough defensively this evening. Fairly all over McClarty. McClarty for three. That's good. Now a 1-point game.
That's a great way for McClarty to get that open jumper to go. They were dealing with some tough pressure from Derek Fairley at the top, but able to compose and knock down the open jumper.
Looks like a 2-3 zone from the Red Wolves so far in this one. Meyer on the high post. Tries to look inside. Levis fakes, pulls up an open J. Can't convert though. Kambamba almost comes down with it. And it's last off of him on the floor. And it will be Cuyahoga Heights ball, but that's some nice sportsmanship there as Biggers was able to help Kambamba up off the floor.
You always love to see that when the opposing team too is just willing to help the other guy off the floor.
And a full court press in effect for Jordan Duke's Lutheran West Longhorns. What a success he's been for the program. He's in his second season. He's coached 45 games, 35-10. Now in the corner, Biggers. Here's McClarty, Braylon McClarty, averaging over 12 points, nearly 5 assists. And that was in his first 19 games, so not factoring in the last 2 they've played. It's his brother, Maurice. Now here's Davies. Yes, he he attempted a three-pointer earlier, could not get it to fall. Maurice to Braylon McClarty. Levis on McClarty. There's a screen from Biggers.
Red Wolves are being very patient on offense. Looks like the Longhorns are running a man defense, and they're not forcing anything. They're not forcing it in the paint. They're looking for their shot, and that's what you were able to see last possession as well with the open three-point jumpers. We got a foul call on the Longhorns.
And that's on the floor as Biggers got just past the free throw line. So a 4-3 ball game, nearly 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. It's been definitely a competitive one here early on. Zach Caleris, the junior, is checked in for Cuyahoga Heights. McClarty gets the inbound. Fairley watches him. Looking to conduct some traffic here. Cutting inside was his brother Maurice. Now eventually almost getting it taken away was Caleris. He looks to drive the lane and he's fouled.
The Longhorns pestering the ball at the top of the key. Each possession outside that three-point line. They do not want the Red Wolves to get any open jumpers off.
Now Maurice McClarty, or rather Caleb Graff, beg your pardon, to trigger as Braylon McClarty hits his second triple, and the Red Wolves with their first lead.
And they use that high screen to free up McClarty to get that open three-point jumper once again. He's got 2 now and all 6 points for the Red Wolves here early in the game.
Lutheran West took the last meeting between these two teams 65-52 just 15 days ago. Snapped Cuyahoga Heights' 17-game winning streak to start the season as Lutheran West answers junior Kambamba from deep.
Now, Junior was a guy that a few years ago, he's a senior this now, I believe, but a few seasons ago he wasn't getting a lot of playing time, but he stayed true to who he was. He kept working, and he just got better and better each year now, finding starting minutes this year for the Longhorns.
Now Davies driving, kicks back to McClarty, not afraid to shoot it. Davies for 3. That's just short, and rebound, though tipped off of the Longhorns, so it will stay with Cuyahoga Heights to catch a bit of a break there.
Yeah, they definitely did. They left him open in the corner for that three-point jumper. As Cuyahoga Heights has really been banking on that three-point shot to fall for them. Struggling here early in the game, but McClarty with those 2 really keeping this game close here early.
Dylan Barkchak, the 5'11 junior, is checked in for Lutheran West, his first appearance tonight. Here's Braylon McClarty, has all 6 points for Cuyahoga Heights early. 7-6, Lutheran West. Fairly matched up with McClarty. We've seen that matchup a couple times tonight. McClarty goes inside this time, and he'll draw a foul, and now he'll have a chance for 2 at the line.
McClarty, beg your pardon, really showing us all that he can do on the offensive end here in the first quarter with those 2 open three-point jumpers, getting those to knock down, and now attacking the lane on a tough guy to go against in Derek Fairley, and drawing the foul and getting to the line for 2.
First free throw rattles home for the junior. And even on the defensive side, he is a threat to be on the lookout for, averaging nearly 3 steals per game in the first 19 games he played this season. Now, Cuyahoga Heights has played 21. That second one no good. You have to think that average is pretty close to intact. Oh, no-look feed from Fairley to Levis. Fairley. Now Kambamba hit a three-pointer from there earlier on here. Spinning inside Meyer. Got some contact, no foul, and he'll take advantage.
This Red Wolves 2-3 zone, the Longhorns with Derek Fairley authoring their offense, trying to pick it apart, feeding the post once again. They can't get their open looks at 3 as much as they'd like to, but they always got those 2 Meyer brothers in the paint that they're go-to.
Braylon tried to hand off to Maurice. Maurice almost didn't see it coming there. The ball eventually tipped out of bounds here into the Longhorn bench. It will stay with the Red Wolves. Just under a minute to play here in the first quarter. And it's Lutheran West by 2. So we have another Longhorn sub on the way soon. That will eventually be Lewis Smith. Braylon McClarty slows things down for a second. Looks for the Red Wolves to run their next offensive set. Lots of off-the-ball movement here from Cuyahoga Heights. McClarity still holds on to a nice feed inside. And a good fake and score from the junior Zach Caleres.
And you mentioned it, a lot of off-ball movement there for the Red Wolves, and that's one of the best things about just straight motion offense. Just get guys moving in a great backdoor cut there by Caleres.
Jason Levis with it. Longhorns looking to hold for one final shot. We're tied at 9. Now 10 on the clock. Fairley, 5 on the clock. Goes inside, skip pass. Levis for 3. No good, but an offensive foul called off the ball, and just half a second remains.
It looks like maybe they got Josh Meyer with an illegal screen, trying to set a screen to leave Jason Levis open in that corner for 3, but did not get away with it. Got called for the offensive foul.
Lewis Smith does come in for Lutheran West. Also, Shamari Richard, the 6-foot senior. So you have to think if you're Cuyahoga Heights, you got half a second, barely enough time for a catch and shoot.
Right, you got enough time for a catch and a shoot and a prayer.
Here we go. And they put it up, but wasn't good, wouldn't have counted anyway, well after the horn. So a highly competitive first quarter. We are tied at 9 between Lutheran West and Cuyahoga Heights. And while we have reached the end of the first quarter here, I'd like to inform you that Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery is this year's title sponsor for CVC TV. Their practice diagnoses and treats facial pain and injuries, and also offers a full range of dental implants and bone grafting procedures. Look no further than the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery for all of your oral surgery and cosmetic surgery needs. Please visit their website at www.ohsurgery.com. And we're still in between quarters. Brandon, what did you take away from that first quarter?
So for the Red Wolves, I really think what they want to just keep talking about is keep moving off the ball. They got a lot of good looks moving off the ball. They weren't able to knock down as many shots as they would have liked, but they got their open looks. They were patient with their offense. They weren't forcing any shots or any bad passes, and they just got to keep knocking down their shots, getting their good looks that they really want. And for the Longhorns, they're trying to dissect that 2-3 zone that the Red Wolves are throwing at them, and they just got to get their shots to fall. Already left 2 shots at the line tonight. They just really want to get those to fall, get their open looks from their key guys, Jason Levis, while Derek Fairley continues to author their offense.
Braylon McClarity has the ball for Cuyahoga Heights, has 6 of his team's 9 points. And make that 7, I beg your pardon. He did hit a free throw after a pair of 3-pointers. He gets it back. Deep 3-point attempt. McClarity again.
McClarity really showing off his range with that one. It was a deep 3, able to knock it down in the face of the Longhorn defense.
Already with 10. And Meyer inside with the left gets it in.
There go the Longhorns, going right back to Josh Meyer that time in the paint for the easy deuce.
And a full court press here. Nowhere to go for Eli Walton. Heaves it up the floor to Biggers, and in the far corner, Cade Davies couldn't quite keep it in bounds, and the press is a success on that one.
Yeah, the pressure was a little bit too much for the Red Wolves on that possession. They got the pickup in the backcourt, leaving 2 guys defending the ball, and it was really a tough pass to get it up to the front court for the Red Wolves.
Jason Levis, the 6-foot junior, just across half court, did not score in that first quarter. Certainly one of the more prominent scorers in the area, had 18 points. 16 in the second half against Hoban last night. That 3 got blocked. And with the rebound inside, Nate Biggers. Here come the Red Wolves. Full head of steam from Walton. And McClarity slows things down at least for a second. Walton fakes, drives, nifty move inside, and Eli Walton puts it in.
That was a great move to take baseline right there by Eli Walton and get the nice little layup to fall for him.
Meyer. Teardrop with the left, that's good. Integral part of the offense already has been Josh Meyer off the bench. He's got 8 points.
The Meyer brothers really putting their fingerprint on the game early in this one, as we see a defensive foul here on the Longhorns.
Looks like Biggers hit the floor. That one goes against Lewis Smith, and student section letting him know that he can't do that.
Yeah, definitely cannot do that one on the defensive end right there for Smith.
Ball works its way to Walton, had an acrobatic move to the basket on the Red Wolves' last possession. He'll manage the offense here. Got a screen from McClarty. Walton gets it back. And technically no real hurry. Again, no shot clock here.
Right, definitely something that a lot of people would like implemented.
And a contested three delivering is Nate Biggers.
Nate Biggers with a big three from the corner there. With a great contest by the Longhorn defense, but still able to knock it down. That's a big shot here early in the second quarter for the Red Wolves.
His first 3 points on the evening. Smith dumps inside. Levis, good overhead pass inside, and an easy two for Shamari Richard.
That was a good look by Levis. Wasn't focused on getting that shot. He's yet to score here in this first half for the Longhorns, but able to find the open man, Shamari Richard, for the easy bucket.
Able to distribute there as Braylon McClarty almost gets it to go through a lot of contact, and they'll head to the line for a pair. That foul goes against Richard on Lutheran West. And a pair of subs look to be on the horizon for Jordan Duke's squad. Derek Fairley Jr., Cam Bamba. And that first one drops from McClarty. Very productive night. Already with a game-high 11.
McClarty really doing great things on the offensive end here for the Red Wolves. I do believe he had that assist as well on that backdoor cut in the first quarter to Zach Caleres for the easy bucket. Second
one falls as well. Already right at that season average that he had through his first 19 games of the season. Averaged 12 and a tenth points per game, already at 12. Here's Cam Bamba. Matched onto by Davies, but that 2-3 zone still alive and well. Almost looks like a 2-1-2 for the time being. Meyer looking for it inside, but a catch and shoot three. That's off the mark, too strong from Dylan Bartchak. And the Red Wolves looking to extend their 4-point lead.
Bartchak there taking a deep three outside of that zone. The Red Wolves weren't that deep in the zone outside the 3-point line, and Bartchak thought he had his shot but just couldn't get it to go.
Davies catch and shoot three well short. And rebound hauled in on the bounce by Fairley. Is up the floor with pace. Dumping it to the left wing, and an offensive foul just past the foul line.
Red Wolves doing a great job again there of drawing an offensive foul. Happened late in the first quarter as well when the Longhorns were trying to get off their last shot. Drew an offensive foul on an illegal screen, and once again they saw Fairley coming down the lane, and a guy stepped right in front. Are not afraid to take those charges.
And now looking at the front court for Lutheran West, they got both Meyer brothers in on the floor, Joshua and Matthew.
Lutheran West ran that a lot against Lutheran East last week, and they were a force to be reckoned with in the paint, even on the defensive end, going against much taller 6'9" and stronger guys like Jesse McCulloch for those Lutheran East Falcons.
McClarty in space. Nearly put in another one, and a rebound on the defensive end from Matthew Meyer. Quick catch and shoot. Bartchak off the mark and rebounded on the move by Biggers. Very quick possession there from the Longhorns, and the Red Wolves looking to maybe do the same here. Kambamba step for step with McClarty. Here's Davies. Nice dump pass inside for Walton, easy two.
They got the guard Walton standing down there on the low block, just waiting for that to open up, and gets the easy dump off and the easy bucket.
Matthew Meyer to the rim, snatched from behind, and it's a jump ball. And possession arrow does favor the Longhorns. And I was going to say, Davies, what a pass inside for the Red Wolves on their previous possession, but was definitely more of a scorer against the Longhorns last time they faced out. He had a team-high 18 points.
Yeah, that was a great pass there. Was able to get that wraparound on the drive, and it opened up the easy layup for Eli Walton in the paint.
A sophomore Kyle Porter checks in for his first time for Cuyahoga Heights. Meyer spins through three Longhorns, or I beg your pardon, three Red Wolves, and an offensive foul.
Zach Caleres there again, drawing that offensive foul. The Red Wolves really getting a burst off these defensive stops with their 6-point lead here with about 3.5 to go in the second quarter.
21-15, Cuyahoga Heights in the lead. Looking to avenge their loss to Lutheran West 15 days ago, that was a 65-52 defeat, and it's one that snapped a 17-0 start from Cuyahoga Heights. Pass off the gut of Matthew Meyer, took that one seemingly with no problem, and it's now the Longhorns on the move.
Home court advantage being a real thing, especially in these conference matchups, as we're seeing right here with the Red Wolves with their 6-point lead early.
And Mordecai Godson on the floor. He has the ball. The Lutheran West, his first time in tonight. Tight defense in the corner. Caleris against Kambamba with the dump inside for Meyer. And a foul is called on the Red Wolves.
The Red Wolves really cleaned up their foul trouble early in that first quarter. With just over 2.5 to go in the first quarter, they had 3 fouls on them. And they've just picked up their 5th here with just 2.5 to go in the second quarter. So they were really able to clean up that defense and make some clean plays.
Bounce pass on the inbound. Levis, Kambamba from deep. Can't get it to fall. Meyer offensive rebound. He can't get it to go, but had his arm grabbed, and will take a trip to the free throw line.
Matt Meyer there with another offensive rebound. Him and his brother were huge on the offensive glass for the Longhorns in the first quarter, but they were struggling at the free throw line a little bit. Josh Meyer was able to knock down his 2, but Matt failed to drop his.
So Meyer now a rowdy Cuyahoga Heights student section, hoping that he misses both of these. And they're halfway to their mission being accomplished. He misses the first.
Got him on the first one, and it's always great for sports programs to have an avid student section, just being able to really get engaged in the game and energize their guys and give them a boost.
You know, like the Seattle Seahawks in the NFL say, they got the 12th man, their fans, on the field. It's like the 6th man for the Red Wolves tonight. Second free throw missed. And again, Meyer takes contact, got tripped up there. It looks like that's now 7 fouls on the Red Wolves as a team, so be the 1-and-1 going for the rest of this half.
Meyer again struggling to knock down his free throws at the line, but Junior Kambamba with a big offensive rebound to keep the Longhorn possession alive and get it right back to Josh and draw once again another foul. Oh, Matt Meyer, beg your pardon.
And just under 2.5 left in this first half, 21-15. Red Wolves over Longhorns. Another missed free throw from Meyer, and Biggers is fouled on the rebound. He'll have a 1-and-1 on the other end.
I think Matt just needs to see that first shot go in for him at the line, and I think he'll be able to be just fine for the rest of the game, but struggling early, and that's a lot of points left at the line as the Longhorns here still trail by 6 here to the Red Wolves.
And Meyer, in terms of his first 20 games, not counting last night's game against Hoban, 66% at the foul line. It's certainly been a bit lower than that tonight. He's hoping to get that first one to go in and perhaps spark a bit more confidence at the free throw line. Another missed free throw here on this end from Biggers. Quick up the floor are the Longhorns. Levis has it tipped by Davies. He's got it and tripped and fouled.
We'll have some more free throws this time. 2 free throws coming as the Red Wolves reach the double bonus with the Longhorns picking up their 10th foul.
And it's 2 free throws, so Kyle Porter really wanting to get back into the game. Official has to say, hold on, 2 free throws here.
Get a little bit too excited on that one.
Yeah, I mean, and you could definitely feel the energy in here inside of Flip Saunders Gymnasium from both sides. First one is good from Davies. Now Porter checks in, as does Joshua Meyer. 22-15, Cuyahoga Heights over Lutheran West. Nearly 2 minutes left in this first half. Logan Petoskey, Brandon Marvel here with you on CVC TV. Second one is good. Red Wolves by 8. Levis to Clay Noble. Feeds it inside. Meyer back to Noble, not afraid to hoist the 3, and Clay Noble drills it.
Clay Noble showing a little bit of his range on that play. More of a defensive guy, an inside guy in the paint, but able to stretch the floor as well.
So Longhorns cut now to within 5 under the 2-minute mark of this first half. McClarty. Haven't really said his name in a while, but he has it back. Here's Graff. Josh Meyer looks to be defending him. Now Levis matched with Braylon McClarty. Double team and tipped up in the air, nearly saved by Joshua Meyer, but that 6'6" frame came in handy right there.
Definitely did for sure right there. And the Longhorns have Jason Levis here guarding McClarity. And Levis, outside of his offensive ability, as we've talked about already, he's averaging 3 steals, not including last night's game against Archbishop Hoban. 3 steals on the year per game for Jason Levis.
Now Braylon McClarity off into the standstill, at least for a couple of seconds there. There's Caleb Graff, the senior. Back to the junior McClarity. Looking to step back away from Levis, but he's there all the way. Caleres, tightly guarded on the perimeter by Godson. Nobody open for a short stint there for the Red Wolves. Graff the triple. No dice. Jumping rebound from Matthew Meyer. Now under a minute to play in this first half, Lutheran West looking to make it potentially a one-possession game. On the baseline, Joshua Meyer. Hot to Noble again for 3. Nearly had another. Barreling into Davies was Godson, but it will be Davies tagged with the foul.
And that on the defensive possession for the Longhorns, those one-and-done possessions on the defensive end are huge for them as they try to claw their way back into this game and regain the lead as we get more free throws for the Longhorns, seeing if they can knock them down from the line here.
We'll have to see if we can get those exact free throw totals for you, but that first one is good from Godson, just because early on, at least the bigs for the Longhorns, you've been having some struggles at the free throw line, but the student section here for the Red Wolves not making it any easier.
Not at all. Barking at him now from the stands.
And the pair is split from Godson. Now nearly 30 seconds to play in the half, and you'd have to think the Red Wolves want to hold for a final shot.
Definitely. They've been patient on offense all game thus far. Just be patient for one more possession this half and see if you can't get a good look.
No look biggers to the corner, no good from Caleres, and now it's the Longhorns. You'd have to think now 15 seconds, they're going to hold for the final shot.
And now even if there was a shot clock, they'd definitely be holding for the last shot here.
Levis, yet to score tonight, averaging nearly 19 points in his first 20. 2 on the clock. Levis at the horn, no good. Offensive rebound, that one not put up in time by Matthew Meyer, and just like that, what I'd say was a very quick first half, hits Cuyahoga Heights by 4.
Very quick indeed, no timeouts taken by either team. And a lot of free throws, though, this game so far, with both teams getting in foul trouble later in that second quarter. Longhorns really need to pick it up from the line, leaving a lot of points. Could be much different in the game right now.
You have to say, arguably, player of the half, if you had to pick one, might have to be Braylon McClarity. 12 points for Cuyahoga Heights, nearly, or rather over half of his team's output. He'll have to be a point of emphasis for the Longhorns heading into the second half.
Most definitely. I feel like the Longhorns also picked up on the defensive end on McClarity. Late in that second quarter, we didn't hear his name called much at all later on in that second half of the second quarter, but McClarity with 12 big points, 3 threes, a free throw, and that nice layup, as well as a nice pass to a backdoor cutter for an easy layup.
And the key pieces in that first half, the Meyer brothers of Lutheran West, Josh Meyer and Matthew Meyer. Josh Meyer with a team-high 8 points and a game-high 8 rebounds from Matthew Meyer. He had just 2, but the interior seems to be what's been working well for Lutheran West, trying to get through that 2-3 zone of Cuyahoga Heights.
Right, and like as we've said over and over, Matthew Meyer with those big 8 rebounds, many of them coming on the offensive end and then being able to draw a foul and get to the free throw line, but it's just a matter of making them when they count.
And we'll have to see how the second half goes here from Cuyahoga Heights. We're at the halftime break, 23-19. Red Wolves over the Longhorns. We'll take a brief intermission here, but stay tuned for the second half of action and what should be a good one between Cuyahoga Heights and Lutheran West right here on CVC TV. 23-19, Cuyahoga Heights leading Lutheran West through one half of play in this CVC Metro boys basketball matchup here on CVC TV. I'm Logan Batoski alongside my broadcast partner Brandon Marvel. Before we get things rolling here, the presenting sponsor of CVC TV is the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery. Doctors Keith Schneider, Don Lewis, Jill Weber, and Jacqueline Tomzik. Their specialties include dental surgery and implants, corrective jaw and facial surgery, and trauma reconstruction. For all of your oral surgery needs, visit the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery website at www.ohsurgery.com. Thank you for your support of the Chagrin Valley Conference and CVC TV. So Brandon, appear to be two different mindsets in terms of the offensive production from these teams. A lot of it on the interior for Lutheran West. Braylon McClarty, the star of the show, on the outside for Cuyahoga Heights. What do you think? I guess I'll give you the perspective of Lutheran West since they're trailing. What do they need to do to come back from this 4-point deficit?
If I'm Coach Duke in that halftime locker room, I'm telling these guys you just got to keep pounding the rock in the paint, but you got to be able to finish at the basket. A lot of offensive rebounds, a lot of second chance opportunities for these Longhorns, but just not showing on the scoreboard. And for Cuyahoga Heights, I'm telling them to keep doing what they're doing. They're being very patient with the rock. They're being very patient on the outside. They're waiting for their shot. Not a whole lot of forcing going on from any player on their team. And a big first half from Braylon McClarty, and a little underrated unsung hero of the first half, in my opinion, Eli Walton, picking up 4 points and 2 assists for the Red Wolves.
And he nearly had it stolen away by Jason Levis just across half court, and he now has it. Levis matched up with him. Walton gets the speed. Nice dump inside. Layup counted and a foul for Cade Davies. He'll have a chance for one more.
And right on cue right there, Eli Walton attacking the paint, drawing that second guy, and leaving the wide open man right under the hoop, Cade Davies, for the easy deuce.
Davies, last time these two teams squared off, 18 points. That was a team high for Cuyahoga Heights. That free throw's good. Davies now with 5. And it's the Red Wolves by 7. Derek Fairley looked for some real estate inside. And they went out of bounds there to Kambamba. He has it. Now Levis fires inside for Matthew Meyer, taken away by McClarty. Davies lays in for 2.
Got a quick start here on offense for the Red Wolves, as McClarty is showing his defensive skills as well on the other end.
Quick 5-0 run. All from Cade Davies, you could say. Cuyahoga Heights, though, as a team. Levis, nothing's becoming easy for him. Hasn't scored yet. Junior Kambamba, long on a 3. Meyer, another offensive rebound for the Longhorns. No look, fairly inside. Noble, bodies inside and gets the 2. And a quick 30-second timeout called by Jordan Duke as his Lutheran West Longhorns trail by 7. Just under 7 minutes to go in this third.
The Longhorns really have to make sure they're bringing good help side defense. On that Eli Walton drive early in the quarter, there was a guy to help on the drive, but there was nobody to help that backdoor cut, to help that guy on the block with Cade Davies getting that open bucket with the and 1.
And if I'm not mistaken, Brandon, I think that was the first time out from either side tonight.
That was the first time out all game long, and it was very much needed for the Longhorns, in my opinion, as Cuyahoga Heights got off to a red-hot start here in the second half.
And I think you have to say, for as pretty much competitive as it was that entire first half, really no need for a timeout. Now Cuyahoga Heights had the first 5 of the half. Ended up making it a 9-point game, and when you're Lutheran West, get your first 2 and try to stop the momentum for the Red Wolves here with a full-court press. Now Levis all over Walton. Now McClarty really faced a double. Still across half court. All the way across the court to Davies. Walton head fake. Davies has it. Really forced behind half court. Noble with a steal. 2-on-2 break. Derek Fairley lays for 2, and now Lutheran West with the last 4.
Great defensive pressure there by Lutheran West, forcing the turnover and then getting out in the open court, getting Derek Fairley the ball with a nice finish.
And a 5-second violation right on cue, talking about that defensive pressure. And the Longhorns looking to make it a 1-possession game.
Derek Fairley right there again on that inbound pass, just causing havoc, and other players for Lutheran West not letting anybody get open for an easy inbounds.
Fairley 9 assists last night against Archbishop Hope, and catch and shoot triple. Levis well short. Davies corrals the rebound. Able to find McClarty. 3-on-2 break here at the moment. But McClarty will stop in his tracks and find Walton. Walton drives. Jump pass. Wide open Biggers three. That's good.
Eli Walton doing a great job of just starting off that offensive possession with the drive and kick. And then on the low block, turning and finding the open Biggers in the corner.
Nate Biggers with 6 for the Red Wolves. Foul line Jay. Short from Kambamba. And the Red Wolves are going to make it a double-digit game. McClarty takes his time. Defended closely by Derek Fairley. Nearly tipped away from McClarty into his own student section. Davies to Walton. Levis watches. Switches on to Braylon McClarty. Had 12 in the first half, steps back the triple. On the money, what a shot from McClarty.
There goes that man again. Start off the game hot with a couple of three-pointers, getting his name right back in the mix for the Red Wolves with the big three.
He's got a game-high 15. Matthew Meyer right at the rim, couldn't get it to fall, almost between a layup and a dunk, and ended up short. 11-point lead for the Red Wolves. McClarty calls for a screen, uses one from Biggers. Pull up Jay. That is good, and Braylon McClarty feeling it with 17.
A great high pick and roll right there by the Red Wolves. And they went under the screen, and there was a little miscommunication there on the Longhorn defense as McClarty was wide open for that mid-range jumper.
Now a 3-2 zone again from Cuyahoga Heights. They're sticking to what they did well in the first half. And Clay Noble, looks like he had his arm grabbed on the floor and a foul called on Cuyahoga Heights, their first of the half.
Longhorns opting to go for a little bit more shooting off the bench, bringing Dylan Barchak back into the game, leading the second on the team, beg your pardon, for the Longhorns in three-pointers made this season.
Subs on both sides. Zach Caleris in for the Red Wolves. And a long inbound goes to Levis. He's scoreless. Somebody who had 18 points against Archbishop Hoban last night in a thrilling, ultimately 1-point loss for the Longhorns. There's a lot of contact taken on the interior by Joshua Meyer. He draws a foul. A bit slow to get up. It looks like he's okay.
Nate Biggers disagrees with that call, saying I was just standing still in the paint and he ran into me. What else do you want me to do?
And he'll now take a seat as Biggers now multiple fouls to his name. And a long inbound into the backcourt for Levis, allowed to get it there, so that's where he'll start the possession. Lobs it over to Fairley. Fairley just 2 points on the evening. And here's Bartchak. Has yet to score tonight. Fairley, nice bounce pass inside, and Jason Levis finally on the board with 2.
And maybe that'll get Levis going a little bit. We had the same kind of play with the game against Lutheran East. He really struggled to get the offensive side of the ball going for him, but in that third quarter he started hitting shots and scored 8 points in the third.
Off the mark from deep was Kane Davies. Full court press does its job for the Longhorns. Here's Noble. Back to Fairley. Levis. He's somebody who can get hot in a hurry. Just has to get that first one to go. Noble doubled and fouled. Noble, the 6'3", 218 senior. Quite the athlete, the starting quarterback. Again, I mentioned in the first half for a very productive Lutheran West football team this past season. A nice fake inside, wide open 2 for Josh Meyer. Probably can't get any easier than that.
That was a great job by Josh Meyer there, just splitting the double and getting his way straight to the bucket for an easy 2.
McClarty, looks like he had a look for 3, didn't take it, tries a wraparound bounce pass, but stolen en route by Josh Meyer. Fairley fakes the triple, underhand feed, Bartchak swishes the triple. And a timeout called by head coach Michael Tartara, a full timeout, and the first of the night for the Red Wolves as they now lead by just 6. 2:41 to go in the third.
was a great job by the Longhorns these last couple possessions, being able to cut into that Red Wolves lead, starting on the defensive end, forcing a couple of turnovers and a couple missed shots. And then on the offensive end, Levis was finally able to get his first bucket of the game to go on a nice backdoor cut, being found by Derek Fairley for the layup. Maybe that'll get him going a little bit. And then Dylan Barczyk, the man off the bench, for a little bit of shooting, knocks down his first 3 of the game for the Longhorns as well.
Now we're just awaiting the conclusion of this timeout. Now, if you were Cuyahoga Heights in this timeout, you're the one that called it. What are you saying, considering that you've had the lead for quite a long time now, but you could tell the Longhorns are getting their way into it?
I just say to take care of the ball. After the Longhorns, the full court pressure seemed to get to them a little bit. We've had a 5-second violation called on an inbounds. They couldn't get the ball in. So just kind of take care of the ball, be patient like they were in the first half, and just look for your shot, don't force much, and just really keep the turnovers at a minimum.
The Red Wolves will inbound. Biggers, Caleres, Graff, McClarty, and Davies on the floor for Lutheran West. It's Josh Meyer, Derek Fairley, Jason Levis, Clay Noble, and Dylan Barczyk. Those are 5 on each side. Stifling trap on Davies. Somehow finds Biggers. And multiple traps in play here for the Longhorn defense. Bounce pass, wraparound. That one snatched away by Noble. Levis on the move. Kicks Barczyk. Again, back-to-back threes from Dylan Barczyk has now made it a 3-point ball game.
And there was a nearly identical defensive possession for the Longhorns than the last possession. Getting that steal with a baseline bounce pass going to the corner.
And a high arcing 3 off the mark from Caleres. Look to answer. Longhorns can potentially tie the game on this possession. Levis. Barczyk. Perhaps a heat check on its way. Levis fakes the 3. Nice feed inside to Josh Meyer, who is hit in the air, fouled, and 2 free throws on his way.
What I notice a lot different about this Longhorn offense now than I did in the first half, the ball is moving with a purpose. They're not just dribbling and picking up and passing the ball because they absolutely have to. They're looking for the open guys. They're being patient. And on this play here, Barczyk could have easily taken a deep 3 heat check, but he stayed patient, found Levis, who found Josh Meyer in the paint to go to the line.
Converts on the first, not counting Lutheran West's game last night. So they play 21, first 20 for Meyer, a 50% free throw shooter. He's been here early and often tonight. But had some nice touch on his last one. If he makes his second, it'll be a 1-point game. And he does. Away from that student section, I think that has to help at least a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's always, like I said earlier in the game, to have a student section involved and bring energy for you as well. It definitely makes an effect on a game, especially in a conference game like this. And it's such a close matchup as well.
And Shamari Richard, the senior guard, checks in for Lutheran West. McClarty bounced to Graff. Graff nearly nowhere to go. Davies finds baseline, floats, no good, and the Longhorns quick in transition. Fairley, bodies inside, can't lay it in. Tip put back up and good from Josh Meyer. And Lutheran West has erased a double-digit deficit to take the lead.
And that's now a 12-0 run for the Longhorns here in the third quarter. And that's Josh Meyer on that offensive putback, now with a team-high 14 points for the Longhorns.
And an offensive foul drawn by Derek Fairley. He and the entire Longhorn side fired up.
That's a great way to get a game back in your control. We saw the Red Wolves do it in the first half. They drew about 3 charges in 5 possessions, and that really got them going and started off their run. And now here with the Longhorns defense, turning it into offense here for the Longhorns.
And Nate Biggers checks out. Kyle Porter back in for the Red Wolves. And like you said, Brandon, a 12-0 run for the Longhorns. Levis wants it to be 15, can't get that to fall though. Barczyk rebounds inside. Gets some space, lays it in. 14-0 run by the Longhorns. They now lead by 3.
The little guy getting in there for the offensive board for the Longhorns and taking his time and then putting it back up amongst the trees in the paint for the layup.
Barczyk just 5'11", not afraid to crash the glass. and he capitalized on it. McClarty in some trouble, and another timeout called by Michael Tatara of Cuyahoga Heights. Just about 25 seconds left in this third. 39-36, Lutheran West over Cuyahoga Heights. And if you are the Red Wolves, quite the scoring drought it's been. What do you think they're going to need to do to get back on the board and cut into their deficit?
I mean, I've said it all game long, but they got to continue to stay patient. The Longhorns have really picked up the pressure, but they can't hesitate with their passes and who they want to get it to. If they see it and is open, he's got to get it to him right away. Can't hesitate on a pass because a split second can force an open look into a turnover.
And quite a game it has been. I mean, the Red Wolves seemingly in control for just about all that first half, even the early stages of the second here. But it seems to be that common theme. Basically, any level of basketball you watch, it's a game of runs, and it's now the Longhorns' time that they've been able to shine. They're looking to keep it that way.
Absolutely. The Red Wolves started off the third quarter on a 5-0 run of their own, and now here the Longhorns looking to extend now a 14-0 run with the Red Wolves' possession.
Red Wolves looking to potentially tie the game heading into the fourth. Biggers back in. Nearly stolen away. Graff couldn't get a hold of it. Levis up the floor. 16-0 run from the Longhorns. 5-point game. Red Wolves looking for a final shot. Davies has it. One on the clock. Graff not off in time. Nowhere near close anyway. But what an end of the third. If you are Lutheran West, you were trailing 36-25. And in the blink of an eye, it seems, 41-36. Lutheran West in control through 3 quarters of play. And while we're getting set for the start of the final quarter here from Flip Saunders Gymnasium, I'd like to inform you that Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery is this year's title sponsor for CVC TV. Their practice diagnoses and treats facial pain and injuries, and also offers a full range of dental implants and bone grafting procedures. Look no further than the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery for all of your oral surgery and cosmetic surgery needs. Please visit their website at www.ohsurgery.com. Logan Petoskey, Brandon Marvel here with you for a competitive matchup in the CVC Metro right near the end of the regular season for both of these teams. Postseason play in the near future for both sides. And boy, this one definitely has a feel of a postseason affair.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said before, it's a game of runs. Both teams have gone on their own respectively, with the Longhorns finishing off this third quarter here on a huge run, 16-0, really bringing that intense defense. Coach Jordan Duke loves that defensive pressure. He said last night before the game against Hoban that he wasn't expecting to get off to a hot start offensively because it was 9 days in between games, and he just wanted a good defensive effort from his guys out there.
And Lutheran West will start things off in this fourth quarter with a 5-point lead. We're going to keep that the rest of the way and move to 8-0 in the Chagrin Valley Conference Metro Division. Derek Fairley uses a screen. Now Richard screens for Bartchak, get a couple threes in that third. Nice touch on the outside from Josh Meyer, who now has a team high, tied for a game high 17.
A lot of inside touches for Josh Meyer today and a lot of second chance opportunities with offensive rebounds, but this time showing off his range with the open three-point basket there for the Longhorns.
Braylon McClarty kicks to the corner, Davies three. Cade Davies can't convert. Jumping for the rebound, and it's Levis who comes away with it. And for Lutheran West, Josh Meyer averaging just over 5 points per game through his first 20, now with 17, so truly a breakout scoring performance this evening for the 6'6 sophomore forward. And now he has it inside, fakes one way, goes the other, can't get it to go, gets his own rebound. Bartchak another three, money!
Dylan Bartchak, as soon as I saw him checking in, I said they were going to be looking for some more shooting with him coming in. He's knocked down 3 threes here in the second half now for these Longhorns.
Now up to 11 points off the bench tonight. McClarty looks to create some space on Fairley. Biggers has it, floats inside. Power dribble, no good on the layup from Caleb Graff. Takes a hard fall. Looks like his goggles came off as well. Now he has them back on, but seems to be favoring that left wrist. Definitely a lot of contact with the floor and very physical defense from the Longhorns, and Graff still trying to collect himself. Certainly hope he's okay. An integral part of that interior for Cuyahoga Heights.
Absolutely. You never like to see when a guy takes a hard fall, as the refs are checking up on him here at the line before he takes his free throws. Pointing at his left wrist. Appeared to have landed on his hand a little bit awkward, twisting that left wrist.
He's going to shoot at least these 2 free throws, and he's off on the first. As junior Kambamba checks back in for the Longhorns. Red Wolves yet to score in this fourth. A massive run so far here as of late for Lutheran West. That's come to an end as Cuyahoga Heights now trails by 10 points. And that was Graff's first point of the evening. He remains in the game. But if you're the Longhorns now, I mean, especially with no shot clock, you might just want to consider taking quite a bit of time on these possessions.
Absolutely. Take your time. Be patient. Even if you have a good look, maybe wait and get a second good look. Take the time off the clock when you can take advantage of no shot clock.
Fairley got a screen from Meyer. Skip pass. Bartchak looks for another 3. That one doesn't fall. Graff claws in the rebound. Walton on the move. Fakes to his right. And foul going up. We're going to say in the act of shooting, and Eli Walton will venture to the free throw line for 2. Although Derek Fairley, he doesn't think so.
It appears that they called the foul on Fairley.
He doesn't think so. I think Coach Duke thinks it was meant to be called on Levis, because they seem to be putting up a number 0. A lot of the bench was. We may have some discussion here.
Yeah. Ref coming over to talk to Jordan Duke. Levis as well himself was saying he thought he grabbed the ball in the first place. He didn't think there was any contact on that.
I don't think we've seen anything change, so it looks like it's going to stay on Fairley. That first free throw rattles its way home for Walton. Back to a single-digit game. Caleb Graff will sit down. Maurice McClarty, the freshman, will check in. He played some big minutes earlier on in the first half. Haven't seen him much in the second half. Second free throw good from Walton. Now an 8-point game, about 5.5 to go. And you talk about a game of runs, a massive run to end the third, start the fourth for the Longhorns as Meyer weaves his way inside. What a performance from Joshua Meyer. 19 points tonight as his Lutheran West Longhorns now lead by 10 once again.
Josh Meyer really being a force for that Longhorns offense in the paint in this game, and much in this third quarter and fourth quarter as well. Getting those easy layups, splitting double teams, getting second chance opportunities, and even stretching the floor a little bit, knocking down a 3-pointer.
Now against Cuyahoga Heights, the last go-around between these two, it was Matthew Meyer who was a bit more the scoring contributor with 11. Derek Fairley had 11 as well in that one. But last night against Archbishop Hoban, it was Meyer, now Joshua Meyer, I beg your pardon. Now, well, it was actually both brothers who just had 4 points each last night against Hoban. So it's been an outburst of scoring from the sophomore Joshua Meyer.
You think maybe at home today they were like, listen, you had him last time. Let me get a chance at him. Let me go at him a little bit. Right, right.
Brothers taking turns here in terms of some dominant scoring for Lutheran West against Cuyahoga Heights. Now, we did see Lutheran West with a very considerable run after trailing by 11 in the third. Again, with that game of runs, you have to think, does Cuyahoga Heights have enough in them over these last 5+ minutes to either tie or maybe come away with a victory?
That's exactly what they're going to need if they even want to stay in this game right now, with the Longhorns holding a 10-point lead. And McClarty's really got to get going once again, as the Longhorns have kind of held them at a standstill in that second half of the third quarter and here early in the fourth.
I think his last shot he made gave them that 11-point lead, but since then he really hasn't been seen much. But now right on cue, case in point, he's at the free throw line now. as he is leading the Red Wolves tonight with 17. The junior drills at first. Derek Fairley will check back in for the Longhorns, the 6'2 junior. Clay Noble takes a seat. McClarty, his first 19 before his last 2 games, averaging over 12 points, 4 assists, and 2 steals per game. Well above that average to his first 19. He's now in game 22, and he has 19. Pass all the way up the floor intended for Bartchak. Well out of bounds, and it will go back to the Red Wolves as Caleb Graff is checked back in. Looks like he has some thick tape or a wristband on that left wrist. Took a hard fall a bit earlier in this fourth, but glad to see he's back in action.
Absolutely, and I think they subbed him out of the game there for about 2 possessions, and I think that's exactly what they were doing. They were wrapping up that left wrist, kind of keep it sturdy a little bit, keep the mobility in range.
How about the Red Wolves able to roll it into the forecourt? Again, clock doesn't start on an inbound until it's picked up if you choose to roll it. McClarty stops, kicks to Walton. Looks like he almost wanted a 3. Now the junior McClarty. Eli Walton, kind of a half spin. Biggers, corner 3, no. Graff offensive rebound, takes it inside, lays it in.
And there's Graff right on cue, getting that second chance opportunity for the Red Wolves and putting it up for the easy bucket.
His first field goal, he's got 3, now a 6-point ball game. Red Wolves at the last 4. Meyer well short on that 3. Bartchak tries to save. It's stolen by Walton. Red Wolves with numbers. Walton fakes up, no good on the reverse. Biggers the rebound. And he falls and is fouled. And momentum starting to move its way slowly into Cuyahoga Heights' favor. This Flip Saunders Gymnasium is getting pretty loud right now.
That Heights student section really getting back into the game, getting a little more energetic as they see their guys are out there fighting. And they've trimmed this lead down to 6 after trailing by 11.
Dylan Bartchak out. Shamari Richard in. And now Matthew Meyer will check out his brother Josh. And now the Red Wolves on the inbound.
It appears that the Longhorns are doing a little bit of offense-defense substitutions here.
Cade Davies, quick catch and shoot. He nails it, and it's now a 3-point game.
Red Wolves going right back to their bread and butter, knocking down that 3-point ball from Cade Davies.
Davies now with 10 on the night, and he gets tagged with his 3rd foul. And quick to check out is Noble, fairly in for him. Full court press, rightfully so, from Cuyahoga Heights. 4 to play in this fourth. What a treat of a ball game we've had, Brandon, between Cuyahoga Heights and Lutheran West. Stolen in the air by Braylon McClarty, a chance to tie.
We've had a great battle all game long, and like we talked about, it's been a game of runs as the Red Wolves are going on one here of their own by cutting the lead just to 3 points with the ball and a chance to tie the game.
A 7-0 run from Cuyahoga Heights. They were just trailing by 10 before you know it. Now they're down by just 3. McClarty matched by Fairley. Biggers faked it. Skip. Walton drives inside. Floater off the mark. Snatched out of the air by Junior Kambamba. That's a name we haven't said in a while.
No, it's not, and he spent a lot of that 3rd quarter on the bench while Josh Meyer was going to work, as well as Dylan Bartchak with their easy production off the bench for the Longhorns.
Kambamba on cue. Spins in his 2nd 3 of the night. He's got 6. And why we haven't said his name in so long is because he's in deep foul trouble with 4 on the night. Braylon McClarty barrels his way, no foul, he wanted one. Here come the Longhorns. Kambamba, what a reverse. Up and under layup, it's good. And a quick 5-0 run has put Lutheran West back in front by 8.
Junior Kambamba checking back into the game and making an immediate impact. He did not allow another second chance opportunity for the Red Wolves like they've been really taking advantage of here in the 4th quarter while they went on their run. But then on the other end, on the offensive side, knocking down a 3 and finishing with a tough layup at the other end.
8-point ball game. Lutheran West looking to move to a perfect 8-0 in the CVC Metro. Cuyahoga Heights looking to avoid their third loss in Metro play. A big one that occurred for the Red Wolves a short time ago, back on February 10th, so a week ago yesterday. They fell at Brooklyn, 47-43, and that was definitely what you'd consider an upset loss. And in terms of the Longhorns, that kind of gave them a bit of a breathing room where even if they were to fall tonight, you're still on top of the Metro division.
Absolutely, and that's a great thing to see, but I read up that Coach Duke, he still believes that this could be considered for the title because the Longhorns on the season with a total of 3 losses, all outside of the conference, and the Red Wolves here sitting at just 2 losses on the season. If they can hand the Red Wolves their 3rd loss of the season, I think that gives Jordan Duke and these Lutheran West Longhorns even a bigger boost for their morale.
And again, Lutheran West trailed by 13 early in the 3rd, went on an 18-0 run to go into the 4th. Believe they might have even extended that here at the start of the 4th quarter. But the Red Wolves pushed it to a 3-point game in a 49-46, and Lutheran West has scored the last 5. So a game of runs indeed. McClarty, pull-up triple, and he buries it.
McClarty putting his name back in the basket for the Red Wolves with another 3-point ball.
A game-high 22 points. And a 10-second violation forced in the backcourt. Jason Levis in disbelief, but you got to give a lot of credit to head coach Michael Tartaro's full-court press. I mean, both of these presses suffocating at times.
Absolutely. The Longhorn defense forcing bad passes in the front court and in the back court, and as well as 5-second violations for not being able to even get the ball inbounded today.
McClarty skips to Graff. Now Davies. Book it! Cade Davies, another 3. He's up to 13, and it's now a 2-point game. Way too strong on that pass for Lutheran West. It will go to the Red Wolves, and they will have a chance to take the lead with under 2 to play. You talk about a back-and-forth basketball game. My goodness.
Absolutely, and then Cade Davies there on the other end for the Red Wolves, knocking down a deep 3 ball to cut this lead to 2. That was huge for the Red Wolves. And for the Longhorns defensively, it seems like if they can't get a stop, they're struggling to get the ball to the front court on offense.
Levis watches McClarty for the lead. No good. And a bouncing rebound from Kambamba. And the Longhorns well into the forecourt. Fairly full head of steam. Too strong. Might have got tipped. Walton tips it into the forecourt, but a bit too much on that. But a tough effort on the floor from the senior Eli Walton. It will go back to the Longhorns. Nearly 90 seconds to play. And anyone's ball game and then some.
That was a little bit questionable there by Fairley. I understand what he's trying to do. Trying to get a quick bucket and extend this lead a little bit, give him a little bit more of a cushion. But they comfortably had the ball in possession and could have taken more time off the clock and waited for a better look at the shot.
And a full timeout called by Cuyahoga Heights. 69 seconds left, or I beg your pardon, 99 seconds left in this one. Longhorns by 2. Red Wolves had much control in the first half of this one. And again, led by 13 in the 3rd, but a strong Lutheran West run showed the Red Wolves that Lutheran West was not going to go down without a fight, and they've in fact taken a lead. And in the later stages of this 4th, Cuyahoga Heights cuts it to maybe 2 or 3, but then Lutheran West, they've been able to answer as of late. Almost were not able to on their last possession. Derek Fairley may have had that layup deflected inside. Very contested attempt. But the Red Wolves tipped it out of bounds, and that's how the Longhorns will have the ball back.
Yeah, we're being graced with a great game here tonight in the flip here at Cuyahoga Heights. And if I'm Cuyahoga Heights, I'm keeping this big defensive pressure here on this inbound, as it's going to be inbounded on the sideline in Lutheran West backcourt, because they're struggling, Lutheran West is, to get that ball into the front court with this Cuyahoga Heights pressure in a full court.
Dylan Bartchak back in for the Longhorns. He triggered, has 11 off the bench tonight. Jason Levis across the court. He has just 4 points. Josh Meyer nearly lost it, and now Levis will hold on. You got to think time management. Longhorns going to take away a lot of that clock.
Absolutely.
And Eli Walton gets tagged with a foul. Trying to steal it away from Josh Meyer. That's The Red Wolves is 7th. So Lutheran West now in the 1-1, but if you are the Red Wolves, maybe not such a bad idea to foul Meyer on that play right there because he's had his struggles from the free throw line this evening.
Absolutely, and I believe this is Josh Meyer. He's knocked down a few, but brother Matt, maybe just one, if I'm not mistaken, from the line he's been able to knock down tonight.
And it's good. Unfazed is Josh Meyer, now with 20 points on the night, leading the way for his Lutheran West Longhorns. Looking to get back into the win column following a thrilling 1-point loss at Archbishop Hoban last night. Second one's good, and it's a big one. 21 on the night for him, now a 4-point game, 56-52. Cuyahoga Heights trailing. They're going to need a quick bucket to stay alive. Braylon McClarty, he's got 22 tonight. Screen from Graff. Switched on to by Kambamba. Davies, 1 minute and counting to play. Walton takes it inside in the corner. McClarty faked the three, fading three. No good. And a strong rebound from Fairley. Nearly 45 seconds to play. Lutheran West into the forecourt now, and they're in the driver's seat. Tough pass, inside, no look feed. Meyer puts it in.
And there's Meyer again. Those 2 free throws at the line were huge for the Longhorns, pushing the game to a 2-possession game and extending his great night tonight, now with 22.
Heck of a pass inside as well from Mordecai Godson. Was barely even looking inside and kind of that just sideways flung it right on target. And Lutheran West 34 seconds away from their 8th consecutive CVC Metro victory.
Absolutely, and for Mordecai Godson, not a lot of playing time tonight, but he's put his mark on this game right there, finding Josh Meyer, and it's hard to miss when Meyer's 6'6" there and easily the biggest guy on the floor to get the ball to him inside in the paint right there.
The 6'2" senior guard, just 1 point tonight with that 1 assist. Definitely has to feel good for him, making that key contribution, feeding it inside to, I mean, if Cuyahoga Heights were to win, you'd say player of the game is Braylon McClarty, but I guess right now with Lutheran West in front, and with a game-high 23, Joshua Meyer having arguably his best game in the entire season tonight.
Absolutely. Josh Meyer has been a force in the paint tonight for the Longhorns, both on the defensive end and the offensive end. Not getting the stat padding numbers like those blocks or those steals, but he's cut off a lot of easy looks for the Red Wolves on the defensive end. And then here, as we've seen on the offensive end, Meyer has been absolute force, putting up shots, knocking down threes, hitting his free throws tonight, which we talked about early in the game. In a close game like this, those are the ones that are going to count the most.
And I have to think, too, his brother Matthew, he started tonight, but we barely even seen him in the second half. As Walton fell, got up, and was still able to get the inbound. 30 seconds left in this one. Only one timeout for Cuyahoga Heights. That pass off of Walton out of bounds. Back to Lutheran West. And this one inching closer to a Longhorn victory. Dylan Bartchak back in. Mordecai Godson to the bench.
It's got to be a good feeling for Godson, knowing the roster that this Lutheran West team has, for Coach Jordan Duke to have the faith and belief in him that he deserves to be in these kind of closeout moments, both on the offensive and defensive end, has to be a huge morale boost for him.
And head coach Jordan Duke calls one of his 2 remaining timeouts with about 18 seconds to go. Jason Levis was running into some trouble on that far side. Just trying to find one more open opportunity, maybe draw a foul, get a couple more free throws. If you're Cuyahoga Heights and you want to get a potential comeback here, you're thinking, what, steal, basket, just with only 1 timeout left in less than 20 seconds.
Absolutely, and if you can't get that steal off the inbound, I'd say a quick foul here and pressure hard on those guards up top. And if they get the ball to the post, foul one of the guys in the post. Not great shooting percentages from the line for the Lutheran West bigs this season. But coming into the game for Cuyahoga Heights, they had to have some sort of defensive key on Jason Levis, and that's a small victory for them this game. holding Jason Levis, as we've talked about, averaging just over 18 a game this year, holding him just 4 points in this game.
Not a common sight if you're Lutheran West, but when you have somebody like Josh Meyer stepping up with 23, you'll, I guess, end up taking it, you'd have to say. And Derek Fairley fouled in the forecourt, and you have to think if he makes perhaps both of these, this one might be all wrapped up.
Absolutely, and the Lutheran West bench, in my opinion, has been the biggest part of this game. Both Dylan Barczyk and Josh Meyer starting the game on the bench, and they've come in with a combined 34 of the 58 points for the Longhorns.
Fairley drills the free throw, and how about for Derek Fairley, just his 3rd point tonight. Does have 4 fouls on the evening. Been all over the floor on defense. Second one's good. Longhorns by 8, 15 seconds left. Just one timeout for the Red Wolves. Walton steps back, fakes, hoists a 3. That is well short out of bounds, and I think that's going to do it.
Absolutely, and the Lutheran West Longhorns hitting that magic number of 60 points on the night. Coming into tonight's game, if the Longhorns scored 60 or more, they hadn't lost all season, and it's going to continue here against the Red Wolves.
Fairley dribbles it out, and that is it. 60-52. Lutheran West sweeps the season series against Cuyahoga Heights. And how about this? First time these two teams played, Cuyahoga Heights, 52 points. That's what happened again. And Joshua Meyer, potentially a career game for him, 23 points off the bench this evening. That's certainly the difference. In another Lutheran West Longhorn victory, they're back in the W column following a 1-point loss last night.
Absolutely, and this is a great win for the Longhorns, finishing off their regular season, heading into playoff play next week. They have a bye week in round 1 as they drew the #1 seed in their region. So for the Longhorns and Coach Duke, this next week, they just got to watch another game, see who they're going to be going up against on Friday, and just get back to practicing and keep doing what they did tonight, especially in that 3rd quarter. They were down 11 big, and they came back and went up 11 themselves and ended up closing this game out. Huge production off the bench from Josh Myers and Dylan Barczyk, and just great all-around facilitating from the Lutheran West offense tonight.
And in terms of the postseason for both of these sides, and I mean, right before we get into that, though, have to give a lot of credit to Braylon McClarty. He showed out and then some for Cuyahoga Heights, 22 points to lead his Red Wolves. But again, it is the Red Wolves falling by 8. Just the postseason coming up for both of these sides. Cuyahoga Heights falls to 19-3 on the season. Their next game will be on Friday at 7 o'clock p.m. as they await the winner of 19th-ranked East Canton and 12th-ranked Manchester in terms of their playoff alignment. So they'll await that result on Tuesday night at 7, and then Cuyahoga Heights will face the winner on Friday at 7. And Lutheran West, they moved to 19-3 on the season as well. Perfect 8-0 in the CVC Metro. In terms of their postseason, they await the result of 28th-seeded Buckeye and 26th-seeded Firelands. On Tuesday night at 7, Lutheran West would face the winner of that one on Friday night at 7 o'clock p.m. And you have to think Longhorns potentially looking at Buckeye in that matchup because they ended up falling to Buckeye last season in the district semifinals.
And that game last season, I was lucky to be able to go. That was at Stowe Monroe. Great facility to have the game at. Their senior Danny Flood for Buckeye. Absolute offensive threat for Buckeye. Led them to that victory. The Meyer brothers were both there for that, both coming off the bench in that game. So they know what it's like to play in an atmosphere like that. So this is going to be a good week for the Longhorns. Rest up and get back to action on Friday.
And Danny Flood now at Marietta College, one of the Division III powers, just made the Final Four last season. And they're going to look to do some damage in the OAC tournament coming up this next week. But one more time here on CVC TV. Before we wrap this thing up, I do want to give special thanks to our broadcast producer, Peter Tellep. Want to thank him for putting on this broadcast and allowing us to do this because there's no broadcast without the producer. He did, him and the entire crew, both of our camera operators, doing a fantastic job tonight. And
Absolutely.
Also, before we sign off, just have to say that Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery is this year's title sponsor for CVC TV. Their practice diagnosis and treats facial pain and injuries and offers a full range of dental implants and bone grafting procedures. Look no further than the Ohio Center for Oral, Facial, and Implant Surgery for all your oral surgery and cosmetic surgery needs. Please visit their website at www.ohsurgery.com. And Brandon, this was your broadcasting in terms of play-by-play or color commentary. Your color commentary debut this evening, and I have to say you did a fantastic job, and it was an absolute pleasure.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. It was a great opportunity, and I look forward to more games.
Certainly so. So one more time here on CVC TV, Lutheran West defeats Cuyahoga Heights in a CVC Metro tilt by a score of 60-52. For my broadcast partner Brandon Marvel and all of us here on CVC TV, I'm Logan Petoskey, and have a great rest of your weekend. Good night.